All right. Good evening. Welcome to CPO7, our September meeting. We have a full agenda tonight. So first I'd like to say it's been a few months since we met, and I hope you all had a relaxing and a comfortable summer. Housekeeping, the restrooms are just around the corner through this door. We will start with community briefings and then move into our key presentation. So who do we have from our community partners this evening? We have the Sheriff's Office. Excellent. Would you like to come up? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lucy Bailey. I'm from the Sheriff's Office. I do community outreach with our office. So I'm just here kind of facilitating. I handed out our calls for service dashboard. So you may be familiar if you've been to these CPOs regularly that we were sharing sort of a map with pyramids or triangles kind of representing our property crimes for the month prior. Sure, okay. You have to go to a call. So it's just, now what we're doing, I'm gonna use, we are giving you more of a snapshot. So a better look at what is around your community for the quarterly. So this is representing quarters 1 and 2. So every call that comes into our dispatch from January through the end of July. There it goes. And it's going to be updated quarterly. So when you see it, I think back in October, we should have we'll have the quarter 3 numbers added to this. So it's just going to be added to the totals. And then at the end of the year, in January, we'll have like a snapshot of the year. So again, it's broken down into public initiated top 10 for the area that CPO encompasses. So for us, it's beats 21, 20, and 50. So that may not mean anything to you, but that's CPO kind of, we break our jurisdictions into beats. And so like Deputy Raymond, who just left, he primarily, I think, works 2021, which encompasses Bethany, Cedar Hills, kind of that area. Anyway, so you can see, so these are our numbers. If you have any questions, let me know, please. I will do my best to answer. The bottom graph shows the total for previous years up until this point. So it's including, the entire timeline from quarter 1 and quarter 2 for those years as well. So we've had questions, is that just, the month but yes, so you can have a comparison of kind of what we're looking at call wise. And then again, what the top 10 public initiated and top 10 deputy initiated and kind of a breakdown of what those are. Let me know if you have questions. I'll be around for a bit. Yes.
Is this available online?
So it is not. You can do some similar search if you go onto our website, look at the bottom, there's like a crime map you can play around with. I am happy to share this with you. We can share it, like a PDF version of it, and you'll have it, you can post it or whatever you need to do, but it's not available on like some sort of, website or anything for the public. Yeah.
Can you share it JK? And then we can post it on Facebook.
Yes. Thank you for that request. Yes, I will send that out to you tomorrow. Just let me know what email.
CPO7
leaders. Okay, yeah. Perfect. I can do that. Yep, I'll do a JPEG. So yeah, and then you'll get an updated version again, hoping October would be the next. But like if you have a monthly, you'll see the same numbers for a few months and then we'll get the updated version. Yes.
It looks like most
publicly initiated calls come in from noon to 4.
So that's the high volume, yeah.
I'm curious what's happening between noon and 4?
You know, I don't know, but this curve is similar in all of our maps. So I do CPO, you know, a lot of different ones, CPO 6, 3, 1, you know, we kind of share right now, but it's the same in all of our maps. I don't know if it's, you know, people are, you know, because people are obviously working or not working, but it's that noon hour, like the middle of the day is the most in any precinct and like in any map that we have. I'll have to ask. I'm sure there's a, you know, I'm sure he would know, but yeah, that's a very good observation. Did you have a question?
No, I was just curious with.
Yeah, right. I know, and it's the same as, you know, I don't know if people are out on their lunch or, I don't know what it is, yeah.
Have a lunch until 4.
Yeah, and but,
biggest.
yeah, or that people are coming, you know, I don't know, it just happens that the amount of calls are shared the same volume, or the scheme is shared in all of our CPOs.
What does a sit public mean? Is that when you're called because somebody can't get up off the floor?
No, those can be a lot of different things. So it could be someone calling in because they have a question, like they want to know a law, or they have a question about what's happening with their neighbor, or they have, it's such a wide array of public phone calls that the dispatch can get, and that's the way they code it. So eventually it can maybe turn into that call, but when it comes in initially, it's an assist public. And those, again, could be, oh my gosh, it could be anything, you know, any sort of call that's a general, maybe a question, or that they need help. You know, maybe they have a custody thing going on, but it's more of an inquiry. It's not necessarily anything that it's action initiated, you know, that they have to go, you know, maybe be a middleman or do anything at that point, but it's the initial request for information or assistance from a deputy. Yeah, it's very broad. So for other areas that I, you know, cover, usually the welfare check is the first one, but here it's for this area, this is public. So that was interesting.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So can you explain one time the heat map? Is that represents the initial calls or?
Yeah, so the heat map is just the higher concentrated amount of calls are coming from that area. So generally, we see that concentrated where there are like retail stores. That's generally what is, you know, or a higher amount of people congregating. But that includes all the calls, not just the ones you see. But yeah, the heat map, the darker reds, orange, you know, bright orange color are the higher volume of calls. And then the light blues, light purple, very, very light colors, like blues and purples, I guess, in this one, are, you know, maybe one, or it doesn't tell us like the number. We can't like cover and look at like to see how many that is. It's just the, I guess just the amount, higher amount. Thank you for that.
Is this like an A/B test? Like, are you piloting this new graph and way of reporting things before publishing it like publicly?
No, so it's just another way to share at CPOs. So we're just doing it for our CPOs right now. I don't know if maybe later on it's gonna, you know, be adapted to other community or other presentations or other organizations. But we just started doing this because we were getting feedback from our CPOs that they wanted a better, you know, more of a crime trend or just more information than what we were sharing. But we're taking feedback, you know, obviously we just started doing this in July. So I'm sure it will adapt as we go, and, you know, it might change, or, you know, different things represented might be added or taken away depending on what you all let me know about.
So based on this data, I was curious, are you guys planning to do anything with this data in terms of trends? Or?
I'm sure at some point I don't think it's new that they're looking, you know, that somewhere this is kept to this information. I couldn't tell you what exactly, but, you know, when things come out, obviously like the ESPD levy, things like that, I mean, that might come up. and what they're giving out to the public as information. The only other thing I have is that we're gonna do a coffee with the cop at the Bethany Starbucks, August 2nd, and I have just a little like couple of flyers. So please come by. It's October 2nd. October 2nd, Bethany Starbucks on Bethany Boulevard from 10 to 11:30. We'll have deputies there. You can come by, have a cup of coffee with them, chat, whatever it is that you like, but we'll be there from 10 to 11:30. Thank you.
So perhaps if folks have questions or suggestions for the reporting of this, they could send it to the CPO7 leaders and we could forward that information on to you.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Okay. You may have this.
Thank you. My name is Lindsay Wapnick. I work for the Tualatin Valley Water District. I just want to confirm that from 12 noon to 4 p.m. I'm at work, so no crime on my end. So Tualatin Valley Water District does serve drinking water to this area. We serve about 226 residents here in unincorporated Washington County. So that's just a quick bit about us. I have a couple updates on capital improvement projects that are happening in this area, and then a plug for our Talking Water sessions that are coming up in late September and early October. So the first main replacement project that I want to just give. Oh, this right. Oh, I have to beat that. Is that what it is? I'm sorry about that. Okay. The first project to talk about is the meadow grass main replacement. And we just finished replacing 1,600 feet of water main over off of Meadow Grass Drive. And that also included 171st and 172nd places. We started that project in late May and just finished it here last week with some paving in that area. The next project we're going to do in terms of main replacements is on Southwest 188, and that's in Beaverton. We are going to continue our main replacement projects with the West Lawn main replacement, and that is in the CPO. But we are actually going to be pushing that project till early next year. That's about a 2 or 3 month project, and so we want to make sure that we get through the winter. And so we'll be doing it in kind of early first quarter of 2025. And then, and this is coming up in a while, is the Dorena water main replacement. That's off of Northwest Dorena Street. And we're going to be replacing about 730 feet of water main. So as you can tell, our water main replacement program is pretty robust. We have a crew that's dedicated just to maintaining this over 761 miles of water mains that help serve our customers. So it's a big deal. And all of our main replacement projects are funded with water rates. Which brings me to my next plug. We have a virtual Talking Water 2 sessions that are going to be talking about upcoming water rates. The first session is on Monday, September 30th from 12 noon to 1 p.m. And then the second session is on Thursday, October 10th from 6 to 7 p.m. And that just talks about how water rates are used, how they're invested in our current infrastructure, and how we're basically planning for the future and building a new seismically resilient water system that'll support our community well in the future. So that's what I have. If you have any questions, please let me know.
What were the dates again?
The dates are September 30th from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and then October 10th from 6 to 7 p.m. And all of this is on our website at tvwd.org.
What was the second project? Sorry that you were.
No, that's okay. The second project, the first was Meadow Grass, which we just finished. And then the next one is Southwest 188th Court, Beaverton. And then West Lawn main replacement. We're going to be pushing that to early 2025. Please.
Are you replacing mains? Are you replacing mains because of expansion of service or because the pipes are old?
Good question. The majority is that our pipes are old. And we're getting ahead of them, yeah. So we basically take a look at all of our mains. We look at how many times they've broken, if they've had any service interruptions, and we rank them based on what we need to address immediately and what can be addressed in the next 6 months to a year. And that's how we kind of plan our main replacements. It's a great question, thank you. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, any additional, do we have any other providers to share? Mary.
So THPRD typically shows up, and we probably need to follow up with them to find out why they haven't been showing up. But I did get a postcard today about a virtual community meeting that's happening on September 24th at 6 p.m. And it is a virtual meeting. I will post the information on our Facebook page, but it's about the Beaverton Creek Trail segments 3 and 4. So that actually is south of our CPO, but it would go from kind of the backside of what used to be the the Beaverton Mall, what do they call it now? Cedar Hills Crossing, to the Max Line station at Beaverton Creek, I think is where it is. So it sounds like it would be kind of an exciting extension. Kind of runs through the backside of Nike campus. Well, probably goes quite close to Nike Woods, but through the old Tektronix campus. So that's the information I have there. And if anybody wants the link tonight, I've got a card. So.
Excellent. So tonight we have a presentation from Lisa Mentasana. She is the executive director of the Beaverton Resource Center that is housed on Walker Road technically it's the city of Beaverton, I think, but it's very close to our CPO7 and 6. So I'm going to turn this over to her.
Right, thank you. Is it on? No, I can.
Hi, thank you for inviting me this evening. I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm a very informal presenter, so please feel free to ask questions during the presentation. And I have left flyers on this table over here if anyone's interested in picking one up after you leave tonight. The Beaverton Resource Center is a young organization. We're a relaunch of the community resource centers that were in Oregon up until 2014. In 2014, there were resource centers all over the state. We had 7 here in Washington County, and the funding was cut and reallocated to another purpose during the Kitzhaber administration. And all of Washington County's community resource centers shut down, except for 2, the Tiger Tualatin one and the Sherwood Share Center. And those communities really saw the purpose of the resource centers and valued what they did in our communities. And our purpose is to help people who are navigating poverty. We are a one-stop service center, and the Beaverton Resource Center has multiple services that we provide to this community. My dear friend Al Schmidt and I started the Resource Center, or relaunched it. I left a 27-year career with the Beaverton School District and retired. And Al had retired from the tech industry and ran the Care to Share program. If any of you have heard of Care to Share, it is our community food pantry network, and we support 8 pantries in Beaverton. And the way we support those pantries is we have a call center. We accept appointments for people who need food, and we help those pantries with food drives, volunteer recruitment, social media and marketing. And we help all of our clients who are our community members, our neighbors, and our friends access food on a regular basis. We believe that our community resource centers are kind of a living room for our community. Everyone in the community has the opportunity to volunteer. We are a strong volunteer manned organization, including Al and myself. We volunteer all of our time to the center. We are not paid employees. And the majority of our staff are volunteers. They are retired teachers, social workers, medical professionals, and our friends and neighbors. And they meet with our clients and help them connect to resources all over Washington County. We're a little bit different from 211 because we're very, very personal. We provide very personal services to our clientele, and they can come back as often as they want. We want them to do. And the reason for that is when people who are in a crisis know that there's a place to go that's warm, friendly, and inviting and has what they need, it helps to create stability in our community. We provide financial assistance. We help people with rent, utilities, and emergency situations. We have a large array of medical services. We're part of the Washington County Mobile Health Coalition, and we have mobile vans that visit our location on a monthly basis, providing dental services, general wellness, vision checks, diabetes checks. And then we have several fairs throughout the year that provide amazing medical services. In our next fair will be on November 2nd, and we'll be providing immunizations, and it's just a one-day deal where you can come in, get your eyes checked, see if we even test for HIV. So it's a great opportunity for folks who are uninsured, people just coming to our country, people who lost insurance, and just people who need maybe more medical questions answered. Also insurance, we have on-site, we process Oregon Health Plan and marketplace insurance. So if you know folks who are uninsured, please send them our way. We run the Care to Share Food Pantry Network. We have job fairs on a monthly basis through Goodwill. This is kind of our impact at a glance. So since January, we've given away, $140,000. We've served 300 people with medical services. That 1,300 hours, I think, is wrong. I don't think it's including Al's and my time. And we've served 15,000 people through our food pantries. We have a huge resource fair every August. There's over 60 agencies that are tabling. We give away school supplies. It's kind of a carnival style fair. We have lots of fun stuff for kids, food. It's just a great event. And our health fairs that I just told you about. And we also host the Ladies in Blue, which is just an incredible community building event. Our lady police officers and their husbands and friends all year long collect really, really nice clothing, women's, men's, and children, a lot of professional wear. If you know someone who's entering back into the workforce and needs professional clothing, send them our way, because October 4th is the day, and it is just amazing. It's a lot of fun. We have a taco truck there. DHS will be there, signing people up for food stamps, ERDC, and any other services that folks might be eligible for and need. We need volunteers to support all these different opportunities that we're offering to the community. So please keep us in mind if you know someone who's interested in volunteering. We love retired folks because they have more time, and but we have kids volunteering, Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, Girl Scouts. They all do drives for us. And it's a really incredibly fun place to work. Nancy over here is one of our long-term volunteers. She actually started with us when we launched the program, and she gives us invaluable resources. With compassion and dedication, we lift up every individual and family we serve, and we want to serve. Thank you, and if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Hi, my name is Sarah. Where do you get your funding from?
Hi, Sarah. We've had some incredibly generous individuals who have donated. We have a few grants out there, and the faith community is very supportive of our services. There are quite a few churches here in Beaverton that when folks, previous to the Resource Center relaunching, when folks needed something, oftentimes they just go through the phone book or online and start calling churches. And they're amazingly generous, but they don't have all the resources that we have. So we have several churches that have looked at their discretionary funds and taken what normally they would have distributed to the community, people in need, and they've given it to us, and then they send the people to us, and we can give them just a huge array of services, because more often than not, it's not one thing that someone's struggling with, it's multiple things, and it becomes kind of a snowball. So our faith community has been very generous to us.
I have two more questions.
Please.
How do you coordinate with the school district?
Absolutely, we do. I'm a former BSD employee. I worked in the McKinney-Vento homeless education program and provided services to families who are living with housing instability. That is my passion. And we work with all the social workers, the counselors, and they send families over to us all the time.
And then my third question was, your outreach. How do you reach the people who need the services?
By doing things like this, our fairs, our relationship with our partners. We have multiple partners on site. That's how we're kind of like a co-op. So Urban League out of Portland lives on our campus with us, and they provide housing navigation, very specific services to the senior population. And they are a culturally specific organization, but they also will serve anybody who comes to the door. It's just that their core focus is geared toward the Black, African American, West African community. Safe Families is on campus with us, and then we have lots of folks who use our space on a regular basis to provide services to community members. Medical Teams International, Goodwill Industries, the county comes and uses our space for a lot of different things. By the way, that's another opportunity that we offer to the community. We have an incredibly beautiful community space, has the capacity of about 250 people. We have a commercial kitchen, audio visual, and that is available to our community members to use as long as what is being done there serves people navigating poverty, and we do not charge for that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Where are
Where are we?
Yeah.
We are on Walker Road, right across from Barnes Elementary School and next door to Holy Trinity Catholic Church, between Murray Road and Cedar Hills Boulevard. We're on the Beaverton Foursquare campus. We are not a faith organization. We rent the building from them. They are our landlord, and they have been incredibly generous to us. In fact, they helped us launch this program. We worked for over 7 years to try to bring this back to our community. And do I have time to tell us a little bit? What time? Okay. It's kind of an interesting story. When we lost our resource center here in Beaverton, I was still working for the school district, and we saw an uptick in homelessness and housing instability. And that wasn't the only reason that we lost the center that happened. There's so many reasons, the pandemic, but Al and I just started going out into the community because it was impacting our work, the work that we did, and sharing what the impact of this was with the community. And we went to a lot of churches and spoke, and we did that for 7 years. And then about 5.5 years ago, 6 years ago, Beaverton Christian invited a pantry onto their campus. It was a sunshine pantry. And so folks who were dealing with serious poverty issues were coming onto their campus every day. And they saw it face to face, and they called us and said, hey, we understand now, and we want to help. We want to be part of the solution. And we were shocked because we worked for so many years on it. We just kind of felt like we were beating a drum and no one was listening. But they offered us space in their building to launch the program. So we started working on it. We met every week. We developed a board of directors and applied for our nonprofit status. And the building that they were going to let us use was not in the greatest condition. I think it was one of the original churches here in Beaverton, and it needed a huge infusion of cash and sweat equity, and we didn't have either, but we were in the game. And we had just gotten our nonprofit status, and Beaverton Foursquare Church called us and they said, hey, we heard about what you're doing. We love it. And we too have a building that we would like to repurpose to the community. Do you have any ideas? And so kind of on our dream board, we were thinking we need to find a space where we can provide a kind of a transitional childcare program where if a parent is re-entering workforce, they go on a job interview, they need a place to leave a safe place to leave their children, and then they get that great job. We could watch their children for a short period of time until they got some money under their belt, and then help them transition to the most appropriate childcare program for their family, making a new space for another family to come in. We were thinking, I bet this is gonna be the building. So we went over to talk to them and looked at the building, and we were like, wow. It's about 3,500 square feet, and it is in pristine condition. And so we told Beaverton Christian, thank you, we love you, we appreciate everything you've done for us, but really this is a better deal. And we moved into Beaverton Foursquare right in the middle of the pandemic, and we were greeting folks on the porch all masked up and giving away massive amounts of food every single week in the parking lot. And that's our start, our story. And you know, it's been such a privilege, and this journey has been truly amazing, and it's because of our community members that believe in this and have helped us. Yes.
You don't have eyes in the back of your head, do you? So you do have nonprofit status. Does that make you 501c3?
Yes, we
Um,
are.
And have you considered advertising that more in literature? Some of us are almost 70 and a half, and we have our retirement accounts that need to have distributions out of them. And sometimes it's almost like free money. So, but it's, you know, tied to needing to go to a 501c3. So, I would encourage you to include that on your paperwork.
We do, and we are in the city of Beaverton Resource Guide.
Yeah.
And,
This flyer right here did not have that information.
oh, okay, we will address that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you so much.
I just wanted to, I just wanted to add that if you go onto their website, it's an excellent resource for finding all the different areas that they are serving individuals and ways that you can participate, and events that are occurring that you can share with your neighbors. So be sure and go on, and you can, I believe, sign up to get regular emails.
Yeah, we send out a newsletter.
Go finish your sentence.
We send out a monthly newsletter, and we also have this amazing resource guide that you can download, and you can be an ambassador of this work yourself by knowing what resources we have in our community and sharing them with folks who need them.
So I look at Nextdoor. Oh, I look at Nextdoor fairly frequently, and I'm touched by how often people say they have a need and somebody speaks up with naming a set of resources that are available. But I wonder, do you follow that? Do you follow it? Are you part of the response system?
I do, and I respond quite often. Thank you. Well, thank you all so much. It's been an honor to speak with you this evening, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Right now, what I do to volunteer is I help sign people up to get food pantry boxes. And you sit at a computer and you answer calls all morning long, and it's the funnest job that I've ever had. I just love it. So Okay, well, thank you again. If people have any additional questions, I think the literature here has the website for the Beaverton Resource Center. And I'll bet you it's easier just to call them direct if you have a question or suggestion. Okay. Moving along to our next agenda item. Let's see. Oh, the Traffic Safety Subcommittee is giving a brief update about the work that they've been doing. Joe Subject is the chair of that subcommittee. He is out of town this evening, but we have Tanya, who is able to provide some more information about that. So microphone is yours.
Thanks, Nancy. Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Lasello, and I am a member of the Traffic Safety Subcommittee for CPO7. There are about 13 of us who have signed up to participate in the subcommittee. I would say about 5 to 8 folks participate on a monthly basis at this point in time. We meet on a Wednesday every month. I believe it's the probably second or third Wednesday of the month. Right now, what we've been chatting about has been some traffic safety concerns around 150th and Pioneer Street related to a big development, mental housing development that's happening there, and have been able to get more information from Washington County about applying for their neighborhood safety program, which we do plan to apply for, and we'll be in phase 1 very soon. We're gonna talk about the application, what we need to do to fill that out next week, which is, that's when our next meeting is happening next Wednesday. So if you're interested in participating, let us know. We can manage multiple projects at once. There's just a big group that is interested in that specific project against around 150th and Pioneer Avenue, but there have been other safety concerns that have been brought up around, for example, Bethany and Kaiser and the development that's happening there. So if you're interested, let us know. You can talk to me. I can get your email after this meeting. But I think there's a lot of really great work happening so far. And before the end of the year, we're expecting to provide a much bigger update. Yeah. Any questions?
Just, so the link for the Zoom meeting is in the agenda. And then are your minutes uploaded to, do you upload the recording to YouTube?
We do not upload the recording to YouTube. However, meeting minutes are available. We have a Google Drive link that we can share with anybody. Any other questions? Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Tell all the, I've talked to Joe a couple of times, and please share with the rest of the subcommittee members our appreciation for the work that they're doing. And they pay a lot of attention to traffic and talking with the county. So that's a really lovely thing. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is elections are coming up. According to our bylaws, we have them in October. So we will plan to do elections in October. We need a nominating committee according to our bylaws. So the steering committee would like to appoint 3 individuals to participate on that nominating committee. If anyone is interested, you can raise your hand right now, and I'd be happy to include your name and anyone who might be. Oh, Mary, thank you, Mary. Yes. So, so I'm not entirely positive what the nominating committee is responsible to do, other than collect names and make them available so that everybody knows who it will be running for different steering committee offices. So again, the steering committee offices are chair, and then there's vice chair, and there's recording secretary. And I think there is a correspondence secretary. And then typically there is one member at large that would be filling out our steering committee. So I encourage anyone who is listening to this or here participating. Participating in the steering committee is a very interesting way of getting to know county government for a variety of reasons, and also getting to know your neighbors. So appreciate people giving it some consideration.
And even if you don't have time, if you know somebody that does, it would be interesting.
Right, right. So
We should repeat that so that it's on the project.
So what we are going to do tonight, I will be opening nominations for those offices this evening. And that will give folks a month to campaign, however, so to consider that. So in all seriousness, if you have a neighbor that you think might enjoy doing this, that we would love to have their names. So is anybody volunteering for the nominating committee? Okay, would you?
Mary did.
Pardon?
Oh, Mary did.
Well, Mary did, yes. So, thank you. So, but are you interested? Okay, so I think,
What's the time commitment?
it's a moderate time commitment. I'm thinking what the nominating committee will do is just make sure that any names that come to that committee will be forwarded to us and will be part of the agenda for the October elections. We will also be interested in having nominations from the floor on that same night. We will be doing a vote by show of hands. So, so I think if anyone is interested, we encourage you and welcome you. Not hearing anyone stepping forward right now. I think Tanya and Mary would we would appreciate you participating in the nominating committee. Kenzo, did I hear that you would be?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have our three. I'm sure we could add additional members to that. What I would encourage people to do if they want to nominate someone, or if they have questions about what the specific steering committee roles are, just email CPO7leaders@gmail.com. And that's our classic email address. And we would be happy to discuss any questions you have, or and also accept any nominations that you may have for folks. If you're planning to nominate somebody, I would recommend that you check with them first. As lovely as surprises are. So, okay. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that covers the elections topic. So the next thing I would like to do is just share that the steering committee currently has meetings the Monday following our general meeting. And we have a new Zoom address that we just were able to set up. And it is not correctly published in the current agenda. So if you are interested in attending a steering committee meeting, they occur 1 to 2 p.m. The next one will be next Monday, and we will be very happy to send you that new Zoom link by email if you just want to email again, the CPO7leaders@gmail.com.
Nancy, do you know if the county website is updated?
I'm confident it has not been, because we just sorted out what it would be on Sunday. Okay. And now we have time for open forum. For anybody here who has, something that they would like to chat about that you don't think is being addressed right now. Or just that you want to chat about. So, there is one topic that I think will be of interest to us all. And Mary, if you wouldn't mind, coming up, I wanted to talk a little bit about the modernization, the county's modernization plan. So the county has some concepts about what they would like to do in the future regarding the CPO program. And they're approaching it from, in terms of modernizing language, modernizing just how some of the CPO programs are run, topics that are addressed. They have, they will be starting to just kind of generally share some thoughts with folks, I think at the CCI meeting on the 17th. And yes, that's correct. And the meeting is open to anybody can attend the meetings, and it's a little unclear. I had to do a little digging around to find where the link was to that meeting. But so if you have trouble finding it and you are interested in going, just you can email me or email the CPO7 leaders. It's just considered a CCI meeting event.
And CCI is the leadership of the CPOs. So each of the CPOs has a representative. Actually, each CPO is supposed to have 2 representatives, 2 alternatives. So that again is a position that's open for CPO7. You have one position taken, and there's another position plus the 2 alternates that could be filled. And there will be other business taking place at that meeting, but I think the bulk of the meeting is going to be about the modernization. And the county has been talking, well, we used to be managed by Oregon State University through the Extension Service. And that transition, we were transitioned to the county because the OSU did not want to continue to support us. But the transition took place, I believe, in 2017. And ever since then, the county's been trying to figure out exactly what to do with the program. And we got shuffled in under the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Community Engagement. And they're doing a great job with the diversity and equity piece of it. They still haven't quite figured out what the CPO does. But they're looking at multiple changes to the program, and absolutely it does need to be modernized. A lot of the tools we're using are from back in the 1980s when there were no computers, there was no internet. So there's a lot that really can be done. And I know one of the things they want to work on language. They want to do things like chairman and citizen, because the term citizen was never meant to be U.S. citizen. It was meant to be people in the community. And the CPOs actually did a pretty good job of cleaning up their language. Quite a number of years ago, we became community participation organizations as opposed to citizen participation organizations. But the county hasn't cleaned their paperwork up, so that's going to be one of the steps they're taking. But they also feel that the CPOs have ended up, I think, dipping their fingers into too many issues that the county wants to have better control over. And they want to remove us from having interactions with the cities and actually special districts without the county elected leadership knowing what our plans are before we fire off letters or take those So it'll be an interesting process to see kind of what the county has in mind and, where things are going. And they do have listening sessions. They are supposed to be, listening to what the public wants, but, they seem to be kind of full steam ahead. We've got our directions from the county commissioners, and we're going to implement those plans for our water. So, yeah. So,
Hey, Mary. So the training is different from this listening sessions that they're having, right?
So they're, the next event that they have after the CCI meeting is going to be, it was supposed to be the CPO training, but it has actually been converted more into a listening session for the modernization. There will be an element of training that's taking place, and that is scheduled for Monday, October 21st, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., I believe. Somebody may need to check that date for me. But I do know it's a Monday, and there will be kind of information about public meeting laws. That seems to be another thing they're real concerned about, is they feel like because we're supported by county funds, and because we make recommendations to the board, we as a CPO in our general meetings, as well as our steering committee meetings and our subcommittee meetings, need to comply with public meeting laws, which means a lot more work on our part to keep minutes and agendas and keeping that information up to date for the county. So there's that will be part of the training, but I think the first hour may be more training, and then the second hour will be about a listening session. I think there's going to be 5 or 6 prompt questions that we will be asked to respond to. And I've been told to break us into smaller groups, and it will all be virtual. So I'm not sure how this whole breaking into smaller groups work with Zoom. When you start out with one giant Zoom meeting and then
breakout.
yeah. So, okay, other people have more experience with it. Does it work?
In a hybrid environment? No.
No, it's not going to be hybrid. We had hoped it was going to be in person and Zoom, but they decided that that would be too cumbersome, and that they wanted to just do Zoom, which we'll see how it works.
Yeah.
So is that enough of a wrap up? They're hoping to move toward an update to the resolution order, which builds the framework for the CPO program. They're hoping to move toward adoption of that in the spring. So it's on a short timeline.
So if I'm recommending, if folks are interested, that they check out the CCI meeting where they will begin the description of the program, and that is on the 17th. And then again, you can just contact the CPO7 leaders if you have questions or would like to get access to more information. Right now, it's they're kind of feeling their way, asking questions, and like Mary said, there are some things that they really know need to be updated. And if you look through the bylaws, yeah, they need to be updated. So,
well, and one of the things I pointed out to the state is in the process of updating public meeting laws. And it's like, well, does it make a lot of sense to get us trained on public meeting laws if there's big changes that are coming through? And, I have no idea whether they're big changes, but there definitely is a committee that's been working on it. I think from sometime in maybe early spring. So we'll see.
any questions or comments regarding that? No, thank you. Mary, I was wondering also if you would be able to provide, and this is, I'm springing this on you, so to say, no, it's going to be difficult. But just a little bit of information about the CCI observations and input around the significant natural resource ordinances.
I'm probably not the best person to address that. There is a subcommittee, a CCI subcommittee that's been working on it quite diligently. And they come forward with a lot of really good information, concerns about what's being implemented. And the state required, or the state requirement was that the new rules be adopted, I believe, by October 31st. And certainly somebody can correct me on that number. But the final hearing for the board was like on that final day, which means if there were going to be any changes that came forward out of the ordinance, there wouldn't be any time for changes or engrossment. But in talking to staff, they've said, you know, the state is not going to really penalize us because they know we're working on this, and they're encouraging us to move forward. One of the big issues is that there has been a stay on development of properties that are currently identified as wildlife habitat. And so that stay will stay in place. So no development is allowed unless there's no impact to the wildlife habitat areas. And what's unfortunate for your neighborhood is that the new mapping that will be adopted would actually provide additional protections for your neighborhood. But until the ordinance is adopted, those new protections aren't going to be put in place, because they did do mapping. There were things that they originally missed in the original 1980 mapping, and you know, how many years ago? Yeah. So there've been, you know, significant changes since then, and there was stuff they missed the first time through, but there's also a lot of stuff that's been developed, and so it makes a lot of sense to identify this natural resources. And Metro did a lot of work in the early 2000s, and that mapping was never really adopted by Washington County and pay attention to it. The developer has to pay attention to it, but it's never been, at least clear in my mind, what the real rules are. So there are other people who have better handle on what is required. So yeah.
Can we get an update from CCI and that subcommittee at our next meeting?
You know, that could happen. I'm not sure, you know, because they're really scrambling to stay on top of the ordinance. I'm not sure that anybody has a lot of time to do that. I'm expecting at the CCI meeting next week, there will be a letter coming forward that they want CCI to support. And I certainly could get a copy of that letter and post it on Facebook. So if anybody's interested in the information, sure we could put it forward that way. So
That'd be great. Thank you very much. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but it was. Does anyone have any other questions or topic that we haven't talked about tonight that you think would be helpful for our CPO and perhaps others? Okay. I just wanted to remind you, everyone, that as part of and this was on the agenda that came out, that there are still forms that you can submit for traffic control or questions about sidewalks, traffic enforcement, whether it's in general or in your specific neighborhood. And the links are in the agenda. So consider doing that. And otherwise, Any other issues?
What's planned for October, in the October agenda?
Oh, yes, okay. The October agenda is going to be, we have two individuals presenting in addition to the election, of course, we have two individuals. Some of you are probably more aware of this than I was, but there's a measure 118 that is, it's a statewide measure that will be on ballot in November. And it is a tax-related issue. So we were approached to let an individual speak about their perception of the tax-related issue. And we invited someone to present some additional, possibly to provide a large picture of what this upcoming tax issue would mean if it were passed in the state. So it's 118, I think, so those are the two speakers that we have. And while it is a tax-related issue and it's a ballot measure, our hope and expectation is that they will be providing us information about what the measure actually would do, and not debating the issue. So we'll look forward to that presentation. And then, of course, we have elections. And I'm thinking that there was something else that we were going to discuss. It may be more information about the modernization.
Where's traffic safety? Can you try to do traffic safety?
Will there be an additional presentation from the traffic safety?
I think so, just a small update,
Okay.
because I think by that point we will have submitted the forms to start phase 1 of the neighborhood safety program. I forget what it's called. The neighborhood streets
Street
safety program.
So this will be an interesting, just watching how that's the whole applying for the neighborhood streets program and finding out what was required to do, and watching our subcommittee learn about this and then give us direction and how we can support them in that. If it works in our neighborhood, it can work in other neighborhoods. So it's a good lesson for us all. So tell the safety committee thanks again for their service. And with that in mind, I'm not going to take up your time by trying to think of other things to say. Oh, Mary, do you have something to say?
Can I move to adjourn?
Oh, yes, do I hear? Okay, all in favor of
Aye.
adjourning? Say aye. Thank you very much. Appreciate your presence tonight.